I'm here to present Fern Hill. Okay. So Fern Hill happened when a busy doctor couple, who were apartment dwellers for most of their lives, decided to do something different with their lives, realizing their children have grown and are moving out and they can have a fresh engagement. So it started as a very simple project. They approached us to do a simple home in a 6 cents plot that they had already purchased as part of an already existing villa property. They sent us a handwritten brief beforehand saying they want a simple house with very less ornamentation. They love to live ethically and responsibly. They wanted minimum changes in the builder plan the builder provided and didn't want to change the specs of the builder. They wanted minimum changes like for an extra bedroom in the ground floor and an additional library. The wife, being a lover of plants, they wanted to retain the marked green areas in the builder's plan. When we started designing, we clubbed all those little patches of green and made it into a larger garden with a patio where they can actually sit outdoors, and they loved it. We had already accommodated all the other extras that they wanted to. So they began to involve in the design process so much that midway through the construction, they purchased an extra 5 cents land saying, "We don't want to extend the house, please give us an extended garden." This is the villa property that they purchased their land in. Actually, this is located in Poovangal, 6.5 kilometers away from Calicut city. It's a hilly area. On the left is the entry to the property, and on the right, at the eastern boundary, is Malabar Botanical Garden, a research garden and institute spanning across 40 acres. So there were only 2 plots left for the clients to choose from. So we convinced them to take the corner plot sharing the boundary with the botanical garden. Their one main concern about this plot was that there was a huge community water tank right in front of this plot that looked somewhat monstrous. But we told them that we could give a revised design to the builder for that, and all of them agreed. And this is the extra land that they purchased later on. So this is the first plot that they built for the house. The builder had excavated and made it into a level plot with a high retaining wall at the back, on top of which is the botanical garden. On the right is the extra land that they acquired. That was a rocky hill with no trees. We decided to retain the levels because the highest point offered great views to the mountains in west and botanical garden to the east. We decided to retain the rock formations also, since they stabilized the soil. Some loose rocks we got while clearing up were also used in the landscape. This is how the design was developed. At first, the decision of the patio was there. Then, when the extension came in, we designed a sunset gazebo on the topmost plot. The rest of the landscape became a meandering trail that connects the patio to the gazebo. A water body designed in the boundary of both plots became a transition point and also helped in solving the levels. That's a detailed plan with the community water tank in the front that we redesigned as a common sitting area. The level difference from patio to gazebo is almost 6 meters, so it's an interesting walk uphill. That's the landscape plan of the extended plot. We have created different zones with a variety of treatments so that along the trail from one zone to other, the experience totally changes. A majority of native plants are used in the landscaping. Next to the patio, because of the high retaining wall and a big tree that projects out from the botanical garden, the sun availability is pretty low. So we made it into a tropical zone. Along that side where there is a steep area with loose soil that needed protection, we gathered rocks and placed them below, and the top is covered with a coir mesh with ferns planted all over. That controls the erosion. Over 15 varieties of ferns are used in this project. Then there is the water body with water plants and a spout that gives the sound of water. Past the water body are a few steps to go uphill, on both sides of which we have planted tall grass that always sways in the wind. We have used vetiver and lemongrass for this purpose. Then there is a plain patch of pearl grass with fruit trees lining the boundary, a pebble garden on the west, and up is the gazebo. Surrounded by a moon garden with fragrant white flowers. A focal native eleni tree is also planted here, again bearing fragrant flowers. Here are a few sections through the landscape. This is how the other villas in the community look. The builder insisted the exteriors should match their design as far as possible. And that's the house that we designed. And in front is this water tank that we redesigned as a common gazebo. That's the front yard treatment. The patio is what you see right when you enter the house. Details of the patio and the tropical garden surrounding it. Details of the water body and the ferns. And the trail is what we had, the idea that led us through. This is stepping out from the patio to the tropical zone and then going up the water body with tall grass on both sides. That's a full view of the extended garden area. View of water body from above. A pebble garden. The Elanyi tree. Steps that's leading to the sunset gazebo. A view from the gazebo. You can see the mountains up ahead. These are the clients enjoying a sunset at their gazebo. The house is seen from the landscape. And the relation of house with landscape. In the ground floor level, what you see is the tropical zone and the water body area. At the first floor from the rooms, we can see the gazebo and the whole extended landscape. From the second floor, that is where we have placed the library. We can see the botanical garden to the back and mountains to the front. These are some images of how the landscape looks from inside, from the living room, from dining, from the first floor common areas, from kitchen, from one of the son's bedrooms. This is from the library. View of botanical garden from the library. There's a video. Can we play the video, please? So the interesting takeaway for us from Fernhill is knowing its influence on the clients. Their lifestyle has drastically changed for better. They maintain the garden themselves and say it is a meditative process. The project was done in 1.5 years, and it is roughly 1 year since they've started living there. In this time period, the husband has gotten back to his old hobby. He's written around 20 poems on and about Fernhill, and he's about to publish his book soon. And after they moved into the community, there are visible changes in the community itself. Everyone else have started to add little bits of green in their homes too. Sorry about the jittered video. Thank you.
Kindly move on to the Q&A session.
Thank you for your thoughts, Simi. Nice to know the impact that this is making on the community. But tell me, this is a fairly new project, and when we went to it, obviously it was evident that it requires huge maintenance, something the clients also confirmed. So, did your design incorporate aspects that would reduce the maintenance?
Yes, actually, initially, yes. I told you it was just a residence project first, and then we had only designed the patio and the surrounding tropical garden. That was it. But then the clients totally transformed themselves as the design began to take shape, and they wanted to involve more, and they found actually quite interesting to involve in all this. So they wanted more landscape. So knowing their interest, even the lady was also very interested in all the plants, and we chose all these plants together. We made trips to the botanical garden ourselves, and then picked plants that we liked, both of us liked. And obviously the planting was done in such a way that we wanted maximum native plants, and also planting was done with available sun availability, wherever there is less sun, we have considered all that. But obviously maintenance was there, and even the water body was also a decision that we communicated a lot with them, that obviously there'll be some maintenance, and it's a landscape, so as it grows it completely changes. And for example, in the tropical area we've planted lots of monsteras and other climbers, so these it will take years for them to climb up that retaining wall, so that will be a total new experience later on. So we're waiting to see that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.